So we'll be covering operating system and how the operating system Unix is developed, and later how the Linux has come. So what are the advantages? So generally we need a Linux server for practice purpose. So how this we can achieve here? I mean so what are the easy ways are there? So I will give one practice servers how to create, so that you can create your practice servers by your own. I mean it can be done in very 5-10 minutes only. So you don't need any high configuration laptops or anything. So if you have internet connection, that is enough. So you can create it for free. So I will be helping in the regular classes. And then, so we'll be discussing Unix architectures and then files and directories in Unix. We generally call in Unix or Linux, so everything we call it as a file. So in Linux we'll consider as the file, but categories are directories are there, links are there. So we'll be covering what are the types of files are there. So all basic commands will be covering as part of this course. And once the basic commands are covered, we'll be moving to the advanced level, like pipes and filters. So here we'll be covering all advanced commands. And then when we move to the automation, so we start with the variables and then functions. So if statement, while loop, for loop. The syntaxes will little vary when compared to the other programmings like object-oriented programming. Even variables concepts are little different here, and it is very easy here when compared to the other programming language, if you consider like C or C++ or Java. So here it is very easy to use. I'm moving to the next slide. This is all about history of the Unix. So it is developed in the AT&T laboratory in 60s. So now this is the open source. So that is the reason. So open source in a sense, it is not just a freeware. So freeware is different and then open source is different. Freeware means you can take the software and then use it. The open source is along with the software, you can also take the actual code of the operating system. So from there, you can modify as per your requirement. So with that Unix, later Linux came, and then many vendors came like that. IBM came, AIX, and then Ubuntu, Linux, now Sun Solaris, CentOS, like that. We have many Linuxes, many in Unix only. We have many flavors now. So some are open source available. Suppose if you need any support, means you can go with the licensed versions like AIX, IBM. So they provide also the support. So Linux is Red Hat is open source. So they will also provide the support, but when compared to the licensed like IBM and all, so we may have to wait for some time to get resolve your issues. And also when you go for the licensed versions like AIX and all these, so they'll be providing some extra plugins also, so developed by them. And Unix supports multi-user and multitasking. At a time, one or more users can connect to the same server. So now it is every operating system is nowadays coming as the multi-user and multitasking. So we'll see how to track it. So what are the process first? Suppose there are 10 users are working parallelly. Now I need to identify what are the process for the specific user. We can see that. So this is the like basic architecture of Unix. So in this Unix, once you install Unix or Linux, we'll be having the kernel. So kernel is the main program which executes and which operates the hardware and then get the results for us. So user will be giving the commands to the shell interpreter. So I will show you here. So this is called the shell. Okay, this is our, so you can see it here. This is my Linux server. I connected here. So here I can execute the commands. So I just given the command here. So how it is executing in background. So the date command is sending it to the kernel. Okay. So if you see in the diagram, so the commands are here. These commands will be sending it to the kernel. So kernel will process in the memory or hardware, and then it will get the result. And then it will be sent it to the shell. The shell is called, this is the screen. So I am the user connected here. My username is EC2 user here. So you can have other users also. So you can log in as different users. That's fine. And you can execute different commands. Suppose I want to check the calendar. I can see it here. I'm executing the command here from the shell, and output also is coming on my same shell. So this is how the architecture will work. So we also have multiple shells, like bourne shell is there, C shell, corn shell, and then bash. So based upon your convenience, some people might have come from different background, like C language background. They'll be compatible with the C syntaxes. So they can go with the C shell, like corn shell, bash, different shells are there. So based on the available shells and then commands, we will be picking this, which one we like. Based on our functionality, we'll be working. The next concept, we'll be discussing these all concepts in detail, but I'll be covering here the overall only. The file system. So in Windows, if you compare, we'll be having, it will be installed operating system in the C drive, and then we'll be having the subdirectory. Here also we'll be having the parent directory we have is the slash. So this is our parent directory. It is, we can call it as the root directory for all. So here you can see all remaining directories under this root. So these are all directories available. So this bin directory will have the all our executable commands. Okay, and then etc will have all configuration files, and home will have our home directories. Whenever user is created, so it will be created inside this. Like this, this is the where here. So where will have all our history of what we did in the system, kind of logs for audit purpose, and then current logs also will be there. You can check if anything is happening, how it is working. So we'll be seeing all this. Also, there is a inside this, there will be spool will be there. So spool will contain all our mailing details and then cron details. Okay, these are all our file systems. We'll be discussing in detail what is the purpose of this file system and how to make use of it. You can see here. So in bin, we will be seeing all our, these are all Linux commands. You can see it here. So these are all the commands available. So there will be so many commands will be there. So it includes all admin level and then like normal user level, all commands will be available here. So when we come to the Linux command, the basic syntax will be the command and then options is the, and then arguments will follow. So this is how the syntax will be there. So, and this, in case of these options and then arguments are optional. So optional in the sense, I'll give you one example here. I'm just clearing my screen, and then I did ls to list my files. Ls is the command to list the files. I'm just taking one example, ls command. So it is listing all the files. So it is just listing the file name. Suppose I want the file attributes as well. That means long listing. Earlier I didn't use the any option. So this is the default output for ls. Now when I use the -l option for ls, even without this option also command is executing, but we'll see the difference here. ls-l, this is long listing. Even now I can see the all file names. Along with that, we are seeing file permissions, links, so who is the owner of the file, and then group, the file size, and then when file is created or last modified. So these are all. So the first field, this one is the file type, regular file, and D stands for directory here. So this is the link file, L for link file. So these all we are getting extra with the option -l. So each option will work differently. So we have to know how it is working. Now here, the file names are, if you notice, the file names are listing in the sorting order, A to Z. Now I want to get the files based on the time-wise sorting order. Here we have time-wise. So I can add one more option here. It is time-wise. Now all files are time-wise sorted. The oldest file is on the bottom, and now newest file is on the recent files. August files are in the top. So this is how it will work. You can make it reverse also, reverse order. So now all recent files are in the bottom. So that is the work of options. So for each command, options will work differently. We have to see that. Now next we'll see the arguments, how it works. What is the purpose of arguments? So ls is to list the files. So it needs the file name as the argument. Let me provide the file names. Okay. Now earlier I was getting almost all the files except the hidden files. Now I'm getting the only output for the arguments what I provided. That means only 3 files I'm getting. That is the work of arguments in this case. So every time command is executing, but based on your options and argument, the output is getting changed. So that we have to notice. Hope the syntax is clear how to use options and then arguments for command. Now we will see a few examples so that you can understand clearly. So I just used cal command. This is the default. So if I use calendar with option 3, it is giving 3 months calendar. And if I use calendar with argument year, I'm getting complete 1 year calendar. But it is giving from January to September. Now for this I will apply some different month. Now I'm getting November month. So you can also apply different options. But if you provide the different argument here more than 12, we'll get an error message. So it is the month, the range is 1 to 12. So I provided with option capital Y year, starting with year calendar, starting with 04, that is April. So from April 2022, next 12 months, that is March 2021. So like this also, you can use the options and arguments. Hope I think you are clear with the cal command, how to use it. You can check the future years also, like future and past years. You can get the calendar. This is for 2025, or you can check for the calendar some 100. Okay, so it will list. You can get it easily. Hope you are clear with the calendar, how to use it. Now we will see the process, how to find it. So PS is the command to know the process running on my system. Currently, the process running on this shell is only one process, the bash. That's why it is showing only one. But in the server, there could be many. But on this current shell, there is only one process is running. Now let me start one process here. So in background, so you don't worry about this. So we'll be covering this. I just started one process with 1644. Now let me try. Now we are getting 1644 as well. Now if you want the full details, I mean who is the user, and along with PID you also getting parent. The parent is, so this is the process ID, this is its parent, and start time, I think terminal. So these all details. So each user when login, so there will be a terminal will be assigned. As of now 0 is assigned for me. This is the terminal and what command I am running, okay, for this process. The details will be, you can get it. Suppose when I have the process ID, I have, you can provide the process ID. You can see only the process matching for this ID. So here we are getting multiple, but here I'm giving the argument as process ID. So you can see only specific to the process. Like this also you can check it. Also you can use U for user. All process related to user. It can be my user, it can be any other user. You can provide available on the server. You can check it. So these are the process running for this user, EC2 user at this point of time. And you want to check for all users. Instead of giving the user and then user ID, you can provide -a for all users. So there is currently only one user logged in. That is the reason only one user is coming. So other than user process, there are some daemon processes running background. So we'll see how to access that. For that option is -e. These are all the process. You can see it here. So this come up automatically when server has started. Even it has no terminal here. Terminal is question mark. Here I have the terminal. The reason is I started the process. But here the terminals are different. These are started with the server. So you can use ps-ef to get all the process, including user plus server process as well. That means you can call it as daemon process. That is about the ps command, how it works. Hope you are clear with this. I am moving to the next slide. So the ls command is there. We just have seen how to list the files. So ls is the list of file. I want to see the content of the file. So you can use the next command, cat, and then file. Or otherwise you can use a different file. This is the file you can open. So when you open the file, you can also provide the line number also. Earlier we didn't get the line number. Now we got the line number. And we also have another option for cat command. Here I noticed there is blank lines also created, line numbers. So I don't want that. You can go with the different option -b. So blank lines won't create the line numbers when you use -b option. So this is the line number we are creating, and this is the existing file content. So this is how we can open the file. Just cat and then file name. Also you can open two files also at a time. Like 2.txt also I'm opening. This is the first file content and this is second file content. So here I'm trying to open two files in single command and then two arguments. So first file will open, continue with the second file. You can use like this also, or otherwise you can use file1, cat file1 and cat file2 also will work. It depends on the requirement, you can use it. The next command is word count. I want to know how many so when you use wc and then file name, wc is word count. Using word count, we can come to know how many lines are there in the file and how many words are there in the file and how many characters are there in the file. It is giving the details, but I want to get separately the number of lines. So you can use the option -l for lines, C for characters, and then W for words. I'm getting the data here, but I want only specific data, not the file name. That time you can go with a different approach, file redirecting. This approach you can use it. So here you will not get the file name. Earlier we got the file name, now there is no file name. Or else we discussed the cat command and then so pipe. So pipe is the concatenation operator. The first command output will be sending it to the second command. We know how the cat command will work. It will open the file and whatever the content is there, it will be sending it to the wc command, and wc will perform word count. So this is another approach. You can pick any one of these, but this works faster when compared to this. The reason is here we are using only single command. Here we have cat and then wc. So two commands, obviously it will take more time when compared to the performance. So this is better approach. But when you have multiple files, like 2-3 files, In that case, you have to go with this method. So exit is to log out from your session. Suppose I did my work. So if we keep the session like this, so someone else can make use of it. So to avoid that, you can exit your session using the exit command. Okay. You just press exit and then enter. So your session will be logged out. You can see you're logged out from the system. So again, if you want to connect, you can connect. So I'm using this method to connect. It has been connected. You can see it here. I connected back, reconnected. Now WC we have seen, but here, whenever we are doing multiple commands, we are doing multiple times. I mean, prompt has to come back and then doing. So instead of doing 2 times wc-l and then file name, so I can continue the next command also. Now 2 commands I'm doing in single line. They are separated with semicolon. Semicolon is the command separator. So 2 commands are executed. It can be different commands, not always same. So I can use the different command print working directory. That means the location where you are currently available. This is my directory currently I'm there. So 2 or 3 commands you can combine using semicolon. Else I have to execute 3 times like this. This is 1 time. This is 2nd time, and then so this approach you can do it. And also in this approach you can send the output also to a file. So that we'll discuss. So you can send the output also to a file. So in this case, all these 3 commands output will go to the file, this file. So here we are seeing output on the screen. It will be redirected to the file. So let me open the file. So this is how it works. So man is the manual. So whenever we install Linux operating system or Unix, so these manuals will be available by default. So you can check the manuals for your commands. Like I want to check manual for word count, your man command and then WC. These are all manual command. So what is the purpose of the command and description and the options, available options, and so in detail document is available here. You can go through it. So like this, for every document, every command has a document. So all options you can find it out. There is a document for man also, how to use. You want to know how to use the man command, you can use man for manual for man. Okay, so you can use it. You can refer the documents. And echo is the statement to print any text. Suppose so this is how I want to print some text. So whatever text you're going to print, you just give it here, so it will be printed. So even the quotes here in this case doesn't matter, either single quote or double quote or without quotes, but there is a difference here. I mean, we will be discussing. So what is single quote, what is the without quotes, and we'll be seeing it. So when we have multiple spaces here, I can see there is I have the command multiple spaces here. Here also I am getting. When I have the quotes. When I don't have the quotes and spaces are provided, it will not consider. Here only one space is coming. So that is the reason the quotes are important. But single quote, double quote, we will be seeing at the time of variables. Why we have to use single quote, why we have to use double quote. Chmod command we use to change the file permissions. We have seen the file permissions in ls command -l. These are all our file permissions. So this is having full permission. Read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. But how to change the permissions? Using the command is chmod, change mode. So full permission you can give 777 and then file name. I'm trying to change for this file. So this is the file. Suppose now I'm changing the file permission. I'm trying to remove the permission for read permission. This is another method. This is one approach, and there is also another approach. So hyphen we used to remove the permission, and then I remove the read permission. Now we'll see. Now we have I granted the full permission and then remove the read permission. I don't have the read permission. If I try to open the file, I'll get the permission denied. Now let me add the permission back. So plus I can add. Now there is full permission. Read permission we have to see for cat command. See, there is data is coming. So we'll be seeing. So what is the purpose of read, write, and then execute? These first three permissions for user. So next three permissions for group. So these three permissions for others. So user you can find it here. So this is the column for users, and this is the group. So in this case, user and group is same. Most of the cases you can see the different. One group can contain multiple users. The group is group name is like a team. Team can have more than one or two or many people. So like that, we can map multiple users to the single team. So that is called group. This is how we'll change the permissions. I'm moving to the next slide. So these are all filter commands: head, tile, and then sorting, unique. So when I use head command, by default it is giving 10 lines. You can override the default behavior by using your own number of lines. So I'm trying to do it for 5 lines. You can do, or you can modify to 12. So that is your wish. So you can change it. Similar way, tile command also. Tile icon 5 or 6, any lines. This is from last. From file last 10 lines by default. If you specify last 6 lines, you get in the file last 6 lines are coming. And sort is there. So sort we use it to sort the files. Let me sort the file. Now you can see the numbers are coming on the top, and then it is in alphabets. It is sorted. But if you have data in CSV format, so that time we have to do more carefully with the multiple options. Now I have data here. Suppose I have the numbers in second column. I have the text in the first column. I want to sort the data based on column 2. That time you can use, and again it is number sorting, not the text. So sort -n hyphen. You can use these options. N for number sorting. This represents which column you wanted to sort, and then 5. Now it's started with 0. Now -1. Now it is still not sorting. 1 second. The reason is the file is separated with the pipe delimiter, not the default delimiter. We have to also provide the delimiter here as the pipe. Now you can see it here. This perfectly working. Based on second column, you can see this is how it works. This is the delimiter option for sort. And like this, you can see the unique values also. Unique -c. Sorry. So here what will happen is the count. But here what will happen is when you apply unique also, still you will be seeing the duplicates. So there is one data here and same data is here. Okay, the file is having, I can see here, even after applying the unique, still there is duplicates available. The reason is, so how this unique by default works is, whenever there are lines duplicated continuously, then only it will remove. If it is in different location, it will not consider. That is the reason. So these are not in the continuously. So these are in different locations, different line numbers, and they are not continuously reoccurring. That is the reason it is duplicated. You can make the file sort. So, and then apply unique. Now you will not be seeing it. There is no duplicates available in the file. This is how to work. So we have cut command to cut the fields, first field, second field, or characters. Like cut -d is the delimiter, and then suppose I want the first column, go with the F1, and then I have the first field. So I want the second field, go with the second field. This is the data. Or you want first comma second, go with first comma second. So this is how the command will be working. TR is to translate the characters from lower to upper and upper to lower. I'll give you one example here. I'm converting from lower to upper in this case. You can convert upper to lower also. Just make it reverse, it will work. This is the data I'm just giving. It converted to the upper. So actual data, you can see it here, how it works. If you don't convert, this is the data. See, we're able to convert. So grep we use, suppose if there are any errors in the logs or you want to search anything inside the file, we'll be using it. So suppose I want to search a keyword, suppose from this file, available or not. If it is available, it will find. See, there is a keyword matching. So, and then lines are coming. and I want to find multiple keywords. You can go with option -E. Whether it is matching hyphen any of the keyword, the lines are displayed. Here it is matching second keyword, it is matching first keyword, here matching both. Okay, here also matching both. So like that, as per our requirement, you can provide. And also you can use lower or uppercase if you're not sure. You can go with ignore case. If you don't know the case, it will come lower or upper, doesn't matter. So Unix is actually case sensitive. So if you don't provide the correct case, it will not come. So you have to use correct case. So to avoid that, we'll be using -I, ignore case. So similarly, we have set command to cut the lines from first to. We said 1,5p. So we have to use -N also to make it silent. So first 5 lines I am able to get it. Also, instead of printing, we can also substitute something. So we can substitute using -S. So yes, substitute. So what I want to substitute is, I want to substitute 2 with, wherever 2 is there, I want to replace it with capital. You know, everywhere wherever 2 is there, converted with capital 2. So you can, this is the old pattern and this is the new pattern, whatever you require. So G stands for global. So if you don't give global, you can see the difference here. Here it replaced the first occurrence of each line. Later, it is not replacing. So here also we have multiple options like 2G. So 2G means first occurrence it will not replace, second to global. So second occurrence, third occurrence, and then keep on replacing. It will be working like this. So first occurrence in each line, it will not affect. These are all variables. So default variables available along with the operating system. So we'll be discussing in details. This is the prompt path. So what is the importance and how to make use of it. So I will be showing how to know these values. There is a command called env for now. So for env, there are many values, many variables are there. So the path is one, mail is one, shell is one, like this. Log user, so what is the user log name? So to get the values only for one, you can use your echo statement and then variable. So variable should proceed with the dollar in shell scripting to get the value. Suppose if I give, I'm assigning x to Mindmajix. So how can I access x is $x. So this is how will be working. So in scripting, we'll be covering more concepts like functions and then arrays, arguments. So these all will be covering in detail. So this is all basic overview of the demo class. So if you have any questions, please feel to continue and then you can post it to email or you can contact the below contacts. Thank you so much for your patience.